Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. This one is all about what is your sex appeal. So, what is your attraction? What is your appeal to others? Why are they drawn to you? We're going to get into all of it. And today we have a selection of different paintings for you to choose from. They all kind of have a little bit of a winter vibe because I am a winter stan. I love winter. So, this one has a little bit of a cooler feeling. But basically, you're going to see which of these paintings is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then, as soon as you pick the painting that's right for you, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump into your painting's pile. Jump into that timestamp. I'm going to throw the numbers up on the screen so you can be sure of which painting is which. And I do want to mention that I also have a Patreon. So if you like how I read tarot and you want more of my content, that's where you can go to find it. I just posted a reading all about your money and financial situation. And before that, I posted one about your past lives and any karma you carried through to this life. So that's a really deep spiritual reading, but there are over 80 exclusive readings you'll only get access to on Patreon. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos, and you're also able to vote and suggest new readings for Patreon. So if that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you would like to get a private one-on-one session with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you want to ask me really specific questions, get down into the nitty-gritty of different areas in your life, or whether you just want me to open channel and allow your guides, angels, ancestors to come through with a message for you, or whether you want a combination, maybe open channeling and then getting down to some specifics. Either one works, and you can book that time with me at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards. We want to see what pile one's sex appeal is. So what is pile one's sex appeal? The High Priestess. For the High Priest in this deck, which is actually the Hierophant in the regular Rider-Waite Tarot. So there is a spiritual component to you. There is something, look, we got the Princess of Swords reversed as well. There's something very intelligent and spiritually deep about you guys. Part of your sex appeal may lie in your spirituality. Maybe some of you guys have like a water, Venus, or Mars, and people can sense that sex with you would be spiritual. I feel like you kind of see into people's souls and there's a gravity to you. The Princess of Swords is extremely intelligent, and the Queen of Swords, this is not the Queen, this is technically the Page of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck, but the Swords cards kind of have an older feeling to them. Like they come across very wise, they come across very intelligent. Their vibe is not as flashy as the other court cards, the other kings and queens, like the King of Wands or the Queen of Cups. They almost have this glamour to them, you know, this like overpowering, even the Queen of Pentacles, like this energy that maybe they do want that attention and they're kind of enjoying their power. And then we have the Swords cards, and they're a lot more intelligent and they're kind of harsher. Winning their approval or getting their attention is definitely a flex because they're not going to be open to everyone. They're not trying to get your attention. They automatically just have it. And I feel like with you guys, there's something about you. You may seem quite shy, even bookish. You may seem like the kind of person, some of y'all, I feel like you don't go out to clubs, you don't go out to party, you're not trying to seem sexy, and in that way you become sexy. I'm seeing Rory Gilmore in my mind, so it feels like you're someone who, like, you're not trying to be like flashy or make people like you. You just kind of, the more secretive you are, the more sex appeal you have. It's almost very scorpionic because, of course, Scorpio rules over sex. And then it also is the most secretive sign. So there's something to that, right? There's something to like withholding that actually people really like. And I feel like they like that from you. Also, the Chariot. So look, we have, by the way, all major arcana cards so far. And no, I'm not shuffling just major arcana. So that is a testament to your power. I do feel like you have a very strong sexuality, but it's almost like you are so private that that makes it more potent, you know? Whereas if you were to advertise it more openly, which, you know, nothing wrong with that, but if you were to just constantly be walking around in like low cut blouses or trying to like hit on everyone or trying to show yourself as very sexual, I don't think it would have this potency. It's almost like the more you hide it away, the more people want to see it, but they can see that you're very powerful. And like I said, the swords cards, like the Queen of Swords in particular, can be an older energy. And I do feel like you give off a vibe of someone that has like an older, more mature energy, but it's kind of a turn on, almost like there's something dominant about you, you know, like the Chariot is a very forceful energy. So you seem like you're not a wilting violet or a wilting flower. You're not like, oh, please like me. You seem like you're like the queen, you know, like you're not getting my approval anyway. And you're very smart. And if someone's acting dumb around you or trying to pick you up and using a dumb pickup line, like you're going to call it out. Like I really feel like being with you is like a prize, you know, like it is a flex because you are not open to everyone. You can be very closed off, I think, if you want to. Let's see, the Three of Cups. What is pile number 1 sex appeal? Okay, we are not going to show that card. That is another one of the bad cards. But okay, I will put it on the side. You know, someone got mad at me for not showing some of the cards. But I can see the card, and it is the World card, and I'll still put it in the tarot reading. So you got the World card. And if you're into tarot, just add that to the mix. But I can't show it on YouTube. Yeah, so you may seem very worldly and very well-traveled, very intelligent. I also feel like there's a vibe of you of like hard to get, like maybe you're always on to the next, maybe you're always traveling, going new places, exploring new things, learning new things. Okay, the Strength card. Yes, there's a lot of power in you as well. Three of Wands. I'm telling you, you give off a vibe of like a traveler, powerful. Princess of Wands. Interesting. So we have the Princess, oh my goodness, and you just got the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So far you have the Princess of Swords and the Princess of Wands, aka the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. So powerhouse energy, and it's almost like suffer no fools type energy too. Like I feel like people would really have to like gas themselves up before they approached you and asked you out on a date, because you do seem intimidating. Like across the bar, someone spotting you, they're going to be like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to come up to that person. They are intimidating. Like they look really good, but I'm nervous. Like they're going to say no. Like you seem like, even if you're single, you seem like the kind of person who would date like a very important person. Like you wouldn't just be dating any random whoever, you would be dating like a VIP. You seem like you would be like the wife of a CEO or the husband of a model or something. I don't know. You just seem like you really have a lot going on in your life. You also may seem very financially independent and powerful. That may also intimidate people. You may even seem very popular with the Three of Cups, and so it's like you're firing on all cylinders. You have everything going for you. Look how much diversity in the court cards we got. We got the Swords, we got the Wands, we got the Pentacles. The only thing we're missing is the Cups for the court cards, and you know, that's like the warmest, nicest sign, and that's missing. So like I said, someone may have to really gas themselves up before they come up to you. The Cups are also very emotional, empathetic, and again, that's missing. So someone may be like, oh my God, like I got to impress this person, because they're not gonna, if I usually use my like sympathy riz and talk about like, yeah, it's just really hard because like, you know, my ex-girlfriend left, and you know, I really love like emotion, and I'm really hoping that you'd be like, okay, bye, what do you bring to the table? You know what I mean? Like you're not interested in the BS. Like, I feel like you're going to cut through that. You're not going to be easily deceived. You're not going to date someone because you feel sorry for them and they seem really nice and you're having a good time. Like, you're very to the point and discerning. So you may seem financially independent, and that may be another intimidating thing. You may also seem highly educated, and also like you make your own money or you travel a lot. So I feel like people know, like, there's also a vibe of you leaving quick. I don't know if some of you guys, like, you dumped someone and you told them you were going to travel, or I don't know, but there's a vibe around you traveling a lot or always going new places or being very booked and busy that I feel like definitely does intimidate people as well. Let me get some from this deck, which also has some, maybe some nudity or risque, so I have to be careful with this deck as well. So if that, some people get really mad when I don't show all the cards, but what am I supposed to do? I mean, I have to listen to YouTube. Okay, so we got Endless Serendipity. What is pile number one's sex appeal? You kind of have an iconic vibe to you, pile one. You feel like you may accomplish a lot. People can tell this about you. So I had to pause for a moment because we pulled a little bit of an inappropriate card. I think it's probably fine, but I'm just scared of YouTube, so I'm gonna put it on the side. What it says, hidden in plain sight. So again, I feel like you guys, you're not trying to be the center of attention. You're not trying to be someone that everyone notices. You're just naturally that person that gets attention. Even more so, like, the more you try to hide, or the more you try to kind of like dress unobtrusively, or maybe wear sweaters and like a pair of jeans, and you don't really want anyone to notice you, and maybe you don't wear a lot of makeup or something, the more people notice you, and the more they're like, wow, they're naturally really striking, and there's an energy they naturally exude. I also feel like you do give off that like boss, CEO, very powerful vibe. And again, that energy of possibly traveling a lot or just being booked and busy. There's some energy with maybe one person in particular who's coming through that they're just saying like they're very hard to reach, or they're always on to the next, or they're always traveling, or I can never get a hold of them, or like, you know, they don't even pay attention to me because they're always going new places and they have a really busy schedule and they're kind of focused on themselves. I actually feel like you kind of have a very selfish energy, and I think that's very attractive to people. Actually, it's bringing to mind Venus in Aries and how many sex symbols have that placement. Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, Elizabeth Taylor, Rihanna, all the big sex symbols of like last century and many of this century have that placement. And it's such a selfish placement, but it makes a lot of sex symbols, especially in women. And I think that's because people actually really respect that energy of like being self-centered, putting themselves first. Especially men are drawn to that in women, but there's plenty of male sex symbols with that placement as well. So either way, I just feel like you do come off a little selfish. You do come off a little like it's about me. And I feel like that makes people see you as like a challenge, or like you're not playing hard to get, you are hard to get, and you are very like self-contained. You don't really need anyone. You may want someone, you may date someone, but it doesn't mean you're desperate for them and you're like crying if they're gonna not call you or whatever. What is pile number one's sex appeal? Time to move on. Okay. And becoming nobody. Again, this very private energy you give off where it seems like you really try to keep your private life private. There's also like a dark energy around you, not in a bad way, but it feels like you've either been through some stuff, you've had some trauma, maybe you had a past life twin flame connection, and the energy has still stayed around you very strongly. But I feel like there's a potency and a power to you. We also got the Hierophant, aka the High Priest, in this deck. And so there's a spiritual component to this. Maybe you have lived other lifetimes where you were involved with the occult, or you were a witch, or you have a spiritual vibe and you seem kind of witchy. You may have a very piercing gaze, and that may give you some sex appeal as well. Like I said at the beginning, where people know like sex with you or dealing with you isn't just going to be a normal, like fun, hit it and quit it situation, or a just normal sexual whatever, but you seem so not emotional, but I guess just watery is the vibe, kind of like seeing into someone's soul being very spiritual, being very intense, and you may have been through the twin flame soulmate type thing, and you know that energy, and that energy is around you. So someone craving a really deep connection may be especially drawn to you guys. Okay, I want to pull some song cards that sum up pile number one's vibe. What can you tell me about pile one's vibe, Spirit, for their sex appeal? So we got So Happy I Could Die, Lady Gaga. Love is a Losing Game, Amy Winehouse. Death by a Thousand Cuts, Taylor Swift. Emotion, the Bee Gees. And Sweet Talking Woman, Electric Light Orchestra. You may seem very charismatic, pile number one. We also got the Three of Cups with you. And I feel like there's something about you that you seem very much like you could talk to anyone. You seem very much like you could be like a top saleswoman or a CEO, or you could like sell life insurance or something, anything that requires charisma. I feel like you're really good at that. I feel like you could talk to anyone, and when you're talking to someone, it's even very seductive. You might look them directly in the eye, and like I said, have a very piercing gaze. Your lips may move in a very attractive way when you're speaking, and you may just have a very attractive speaking voice. But I feel like when you're actually talking to someone one-on-one in communication, it's kind of mesmerizing. It's kind of like someone can't look away, and there's a power within you that, again, I'm getting almost like Stevie Nicks witchy woman vibes. I feel like a lot of you guys, you come off like you're, and I'm hearing that song from Swiss Beats, on to the next one, and there's a million ways to get it. So I feel like you do seem like someone that's almost a little jaded. We got Love is a Losing Game, Amy Winehouse. So again, maybe you have been through heartbreak and you're just not the kind of person who's easily fooled. You may seem also very sophisticated. We just got LDN, Lily Allen. Maybe you grew up in a major city, or you've lived in a major city for a while, or you just have a very cosmopolitan sense of style, like a very beautiful sense of style that a lot of people see as very sophisticated and very grown up and very well put together. I feel like you are someone that is such a head turner. When you walk into the room, everyone notices. I'm hearing that lyric by Taylor Swift from Bejeweled. When I walk in the room, I can make the whole room shimmer. So I feel like you really like turn heads. You know how there's a meme like it's always the girl you see at the airport and you never see again, about how like the most beautiful girl you'll see won't be out at the club, she won't be out at the bars. There's kind of no way to approach her. It's just in passing at the airport. And I feel like that's kind of you. Like you are the kind of person that when you walk into the room, you literally turn heads, and it's like even just seeing you at the airport once, someone may remember you for a long time, where they may think, oh my God, that's exactly the kind of person I would love to date. But of course, they're not the kind of person that goes to the clubs. Of course, they're not the kind of person that's going to be like blacking out on a Tuesday at the bar. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it just seems like you're kind of more intelligent than that. You also may seem like someone who reads a lot of books, and is very focused on that, and is very intelligent. And also, I'm hearing you have an amazing music taste, or you come off like someone who has an amazing musical taste. So I feel like your sophistication is a big part of your sex appeal. Like people imagine that having sex with you, you know your stuff. Like you're not, like I said, a wilting flower. You're not like a coquette. You're like a experienced kind of been there, done that. And you're hard to impress in that sense, you know, because it's not your first rodeo. You're not going to just be like, oh my God, you bought me a drink? Wow, thank you so much. This is amazing. You own a car? Whoa, you have an apartment? Oh my God. You're going to be like, what kind of car is it? What's the apartment? Oh, that's not good enough of an address. Like, I feel like there's something a little judgmental about you, but in a good way. Not actually in a bad way, but like in a, oh my God, I want to get pile one's approval. And I almost feel like the more someone interacts with you, the more they want your approval. They may even start out saying things like, oh my gosh, I don't want someone like that. But then they meet you and they're like, I really need your approval. The more you withhold it, the more they want it. And you do seem like someone who will easily move on you're not interested. Like, you seem like someone that you have kind of a roster, or you're just like, you have multiple people in the DMs, you have multiple options, and if something's not serving you, you're on to the next. You're easily able to move on. Like I said, there's something a little bit selfish, self-centered here that I actually think really brings sex appeal to you. Because also, like, that Venus in Aries, it's funny because Aries does rule over sex. So it also makes sense that's a sex appeal placement, because Venus, love, the love planet in a sexual sign, just means that probably sex with that person is going to be more potent, more powerful, because that's a major energy running through them, right? So the selfishness of you guys is not necessarily a bad thing, because it can also be related to sex appeal itself and kind of that self-centered, self-focused energy. Someone like that, they're probably going to be passionate or like demanding in bed, and people like that. So I feel like for you, you do seem like a kind of fun challenge that a lot of people want to win over. Let me get some more tarot. What can you tell me about pile number one, sex appeal? What is pile number one's sex appeal? Okay, we got the Eight of Swords. What is this? The Eight of Pentacles reversed. You may seem, I feel like you do seem like a powerhouse. Two of Cups reversed, the Death card, the Lovers reversed. Interesting that came out next to the Two of Cups reversed. And let's get one more. The Fool reversed. Yeah, it's funny you got the Emperor reversed, because I almost feel like you kind of like, if there's a powerful person, you kind of like strip them of their power somehow. There may be someone who's like really cocky, like, oh, I get all the girls, or I get all the guys. And then they meet you and you're like not impressed, with whatever they've done that was worked on everyone else. You're not impressed by that. I'm hearing that quote like, oh, so you say you're a player? Well, meet me, I'm the coach. I feel like you have that vibe, like upper level stuff. Like, you're not impressed by the usual pickup line or whatever Riz has worked on everyone else. And they know, like, ooh, this person's probably only ever dated other super attractive people, or they've only ever dated powerful people, or they are not someone that has easy, low standards and it's going to be impressed by me, like driving them to the fast food restaurant. You also just seem very intelligent, smart. Like, I feel like you're amazing in conversation and quick-witted and fast. And so you also give off that, like, I don't really need anyone vibe. We got the Two of Cups reversed next to the Lovers reversed. You may literally seem like someone that is not looking for a relationship, not super open to relationships, and is just looking for fun. Kind of like Samantha from Sex and the City, how, at the end of the series, Smith Jerrod really has to win her over because she truly is fulfilled in her life and she truly isn't looking for a relationship. And that's kind of how she wins him over in a way, is because like he's so used to women throwing themselves at him. And then Samantha's like this challenge, because she's like, no, I'm good. I have my own money. I have my own success and I'm happy in my life and I don't want that. And so suddenly he's like, well, okay, everyone else is throwing themselves at me. This is kind of a cool challenge. And I feel like you give off that vibe as well. So you may seem like someone who dates around a lot, or has a lot of options and isn't going to settle with just one person because they're really nice and sweet and you don't want to hurt their feelings. Like, I feel like that game does not work on you. Yeah, I feel like you definitely seem like someone who has a lot of options and admirers. Part of your sex appeal is that challenge, is that fact that you seem like you get a lot of attention, is the fact that you really seem like that girl or that guy, and kind of like it girl energy or like head turner energy, everyone noticing you energy, and also your potency and power. We got the Death card, which is just a very potent energy, a very powerful card. If anything, like, so many people are afraid of the Death card. I mentioned this before, but sometimes if someone finds out I do tarot or we're chatting about tarot, there's so many people who have asked me, like, what happens, by the way, what would you say if you ever pulled the Death card in a reading? And I'm like, I pull that all the time. It's not that big of a deal, but people are so afraid of that card and the Devil card, and those are the two they like know and they'll ask about, especially the Death card. And so again, it's like the most feared card, which I feel like is your energy. Like, you kind of strike fear in people. I feel like you would maybe only attract, like, if you're a woman, you may only attract like alpha male types or really powerful, like they've got their whole life figured out types, very attractive types, and people who are not as attractive may be terrified of you and may like literally steer clear or hate you, resent you, try to neg you, try to make you feel bad because they sense that you're really on another level. You also just seem very unbothered, pile number one. You seem like someone who like really doesn't care and isn't gonna let it get to you if someone doesn't like you. Like you're just so feathers unruffled. Like you're not going to be hurt or sad or crying about it all night. If someone doesn't like you, you're going to be like, okay, so anyway, I have like 20 other guys I'm talking to, so I don't really care, you know? And yeah, I feel like in that way, you're kind of like an object of fantasy for a lot of people because you really do kind of seem emblematic of like that untouchable energy, that untouchable feminine or masculine that a lot of people may put on a pedestal. So let's get some astro dice and see what astrological energies are at play for pile number one. So we got Virgo, we got the sun, and we got the 10th house. It's really interesting we got the sun in the 10th house because those are both about being center stage. Your 10th house is really how you appear to others. It's the upper part of your house where you can see so much of how you appear to the public and your public persona or your public reputation. And then, of course, the sun is the object in the universe that everything else, all the other planets rotate around. So they're both like center stage energy. Of course, we all know Leos can be center stage, and the 10th house, though, is a real house of how you appear to others and what kind of honors, achievements you get, that kind of a thing. So again, I feel like you just seem like you can't help being the center of attention. You're not that person that's going to be dressed to the nines with like everything done on purpose, like super intense makeup and hair intense and nails intense and the most eye-catching outfit. You feel like the quiet girl in the corner that isn't even trying to get attention, but everyone keeps looking at her. Everyone keeps trying to stare. Everyone wants to know her. And it's almost like the more she doesn't try, the more people are like, oh my God, who is that girl? And she just looks so perfect. We also have that Virgo energy. Virgo is definitely that kind of super book smart, intelligent, kind of Rory Gilmore energy. Although I don't know if I would type her as a Virgo, but maybe. She definitely, yeah, actually I probably would. I'd have to think about that one, but she definitely does give off some kind of Virgo placement energy for sure. So yeah, I feel like you guys give off that really smart, like amazing in conversation, curious about the world, kind of a perfectionist, kind of harsh on others. You're not going to just let someone in if they have a horrible credit score and they're not attractive and they're kind of rude in conversation. Like, absolutely not going to work for you. You have that Virgo perfectionism. And in that sense, you may seem very perfect. They may resent you and be like, oh, little Miss Perfect, or oh, you think you're better than everyone. But I do feel like this is a big part of your sex appeal is you're kind of like very precise, intelligent. And that's another thing is like they feel like if they slept with you, like the pillow talk afterwards would be on point. You're so smart, you're so intelligent. You wouldn't just be a boring person to like sleep with and then like, oh, whatever, it was just a physical act. Like afterwards, you'd keep the conversation going. You'd have so much to say. You're so curious about things. And yeah, I think that adds a lot to your sex appeal. So that is what I have for you, pile number one. I really hope that resonates. If it does, let me know down in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys, hearing your thoughts, your stories. So let me know what you think. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, and subscribe. That really helps the channel. And if you want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about your financial situation and money situation, guidance for that, and insight into that. Also, a reading about your past lives and any karma you brought into this lifetime. But there are over 80 exclusive readings you'll only get access to as soon as you sign up for Patreon. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So there's a lot to choose from over on Patreon. Tons of content. If you want to join us over there, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description, and I will see you there on Patreon. Also, if you would like to get a private one-on-one session with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. constitute.com. You can have me open channel and just let whatever message come through from your guides, angels, ancestors, see what they just want to tell you and keep it open-ended. Or you can ask me very specific questions about specific areas of your life and get down into the nitty-gritty. However you want your reading to go, totally okay with me. So if you're interested in that, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards and see what your sex appeal is. What is Pile 2's sex appeal? What is Pile 2's sex appeal? Let's see, this is taking a while. Okay, the Prince of Wands, which is the the Knight of Wands. What is Pile 2's sex appeal, Spirit? The Six of Wands. Okay, that came out reversed. What is Pile 2's sex appeal? The Three of Wands. Okay, and ooh, that one flew out. The High Priestess, aka the Hierophant. The High Priest, excuse me. It's the masculine. And finally, the Nine of Wands. So there is something very primally sexy about you, pile number 2. You guys may kind of wear your heart on your sleeve. You may be an extrovert. You may be someone that is very honest and obvious and upfront with what you want and with your passions, with your desires. And it does seem like your sexuality is not something people have to dig for or search for or try to like see through something. It feels like it's very out there because the Prince of Wands, aka the Knight of Wands, is a very charismatic card. It can be someone also who's not necessarily looking for commitment. I don't know if that's an energy some of you guys have, where maybe you're not someone that like obsesses over a long-term relationship, or you're kind of in a phase of your life where you're wanting to have fun, but you may give off a vibe of someone who's like on to the next, booked and busy. You're not trying, you're not desperate, you're not hoping and praying like, please, I just want a boyfriend. You just seem like someone who's living your best life, enjoying it, having fun. And there's something a little selfish about you guys in that sense as well. You may have felt a little drawn to pile 1 because there are some similarities, but there's also some major differences. So watch that if you feel called to it. But for you guys, there is a selfishness with all this wand energy, all this fire energy. You may be very focused on living in the moment, doing your own thing, having fun, even going out a lot could be something you do. You could be moving a lot. You could be someone that like goes where you want, does what you want, and if someone can't keep up with you, you don't really care. You know, I feel like there are people that you have dated in the past that they may like think of you as very selfish, and they may be bitter and angry about that. They may be like, oh my gosh, pile number 2, you know, they're so selfish, they're so self-centered, they only do what they want. But I actually feel like this makes them like you and desire you more. So your sex appeal could be like straight up sex appeal. You could just be very obviously pretty, attractive, gorgeous physically, like amazing body, amazing face. And also you could be someone that is a lot of fun to be around, is exciting. There's excitement around you. You're not letting grass grow under your feet and just like wanting to just stay inside with a cup of tea for the night. You seem like someone that has a really beautiful laugh. I'm seeing someone throwing their head back laughing and they just look like gorgeous. Like I feel like you seem fun and unpredictable. Kind of like they're showing me the girl from The Notebook, how she's a little crazy and she's a little selfish, you know, like she's always saying stuff like, build the house for me, and she's always you know, like doing crazy stuff, like just driving to his house to confront him or pretending she's a bird. Like she seems very, I don't want to say unstable because that's too harsh, but you know, she just seems very like kind of young at heart and living in the moment. That's kind of very fire energy, you know, like it's not a card or an energy of like longevity and seriousness. It's very lighthearted and fun, but it's also kind of fleeting. And she seems very unpredictable. Like half the movie, he's thinking she's going to go back to her fiance, you know, and the fiance thinks she's waiting for him and she's not. She's doing exactly what she wants. But keep in mind that feminine archetype is very powerful for men. It was a man who wrote that book and the movie, and it's men, I think, primarily who love that movie so much. Whenever I hear someone be like, oh, my favorite movie is The Notebook, it's always a guy. So men love that. Don't let them tell you that they hate that kind of woman, because clearly it's not the case. So I feel like you have a lot of fun, unpredictable, chaotic feminine vibes. And keep in mind, the feminine principle in metaphysics is chaos. So this is, again, a very intense feminine archetype. Not to say if you're a man, this can't be attractive. This can also be very attractive in men. It feels like you have your own fulfilled life and you're not looking for someone to fill up your cup or make you feel happy or do exciting things with you, because you're already doing exciting things. You may have a lot of friends. You may just be someone who's very social or like good in social situations, extroverted, and very bold and exploratory and like willing to take risks. I feel like you have a brightness to your eyes. Like when you look at someone, you just seem very alive. You seem very passionate. I could see some of y'all having red hair or loving the color red. There's a fiery Mars, Aries, passionate energy hanging around you guys. With the High Priest as well, aka the Hierophant, you may be someone who also has a spiritual side or is very intuitive. Yeah, and the Hierophant can also correspond to like kind of traditions and almost like corporations and large structures, that kind of a thing. So you may also seem like someone who you can thrive under certain rules. Like you're not, again, you're not someone that wants to rewrite every script and take everything so seriously and think so deeply about every freaking thing in life. Like, I feel like you seem like someone who's fun, who's living your best life, who's here for kind of like a good time, not a long time. You know what I mean? But again, I feel like this is a very powerful, attractive energy. Let's see, what is pile number 2, sex appeal? Okay, so I had to cut it because we did get a card that has a little bit of an inappropriate image, but you can see it was the Devil card, aka Cernunnos, on this deck. And I'm going to pull the other card. I'm going to put this on the side so I can see it. And then we got the Death card. What is pile number 2, sex appeal? The 5 of Swords. Sometimes people may think that you're lying to them. They may think that you're like deceiving them somehow or not telling the truth. And I actually feel like in a way that could add to your sex appeal, because it's almost like lie to me, play me or something. I know that's weird, but it's reminding me of, there's a song by Ryan Adams, I think, and it's like, come pick me up, sleep with all my friends, lie to me. And this is a song, again, a man wrote. So I don't know what it is, but you know, it's kind of like the bad boy, bad girl. I guess that's a very powerful person, like the person you can't control, the person that, you know, they're so full of energy and they're kind of like always doing their own thing, and they're not waiting around for you at home. They're not, you know, you can't just expect that they're going to be there every time you call. Like, you never know. Are they out with someone else? What are they doing? Do they like me? Do they not like me? And you can't feel secure that like, well, if I leave them, they're going to be super upset because, you know, they're just so down bad for me and they don't have anyone else they're dating. And it's like, you know, that person could move on at any point. I feel like you give off that vibe. So yeah, this can be a very powerful like sexual archetype. It's almost like the player, you know, and winning them over is like a challenge. And so even if you're not a player, this may be how people see you. They may see you as someone who's just really fun and you're not taking things too serious. In a way, I feel like someone may end up being with you and they may just see you as a challenge. So they keep like texting you, calling you, trying to hang out with you just because you're like a challenge. And they end up falling in love with you because they're just like, let me win them over. Let me win them over. Let me try to hang out with them one more time. And I'm going to win them over this time. And then they end up, instead of you falling in love and them winning, you end up winning and they fall in love kind of vibe, you know? But yeah, I feel like people think of you as someone who has a lot of options, a lot of suitors, a lot of people into you, a lot of people who would love to date you, and you're very kind of chaotic. You could even have a manic pixie dream girl vibe where you seem like someone who, like I said, would pick up all your things in the middle of the night and move to another state or go on a road trip, you know, in the middle of summer, and you don't even have any gas money, but you like flirt with the clerk at the gas station and end up getting your tank filled. Do you know what I mean? Like just that kind of like iconic, brave, exciting character that you just know you'd never be bored with. Let's get into this deck for pile number 2. And this deck also has images I have to be a little careful about. So if I'm not showing you the image, that's why. This one's okay. Create and progress. This one says beauty sleep. So you may just be very physically beautiful, pile number 2. You may just be someone who's just naturally gorgeous. I also feel like the quality of your skin is really gorgeous. Look how much fire. I'm telling you, you guys definitely, some of y'all have to have like fire placements. I just know it. You give off such a fiery energy, and it's funny because fire really is, I would say, the most sexual of the elements, and it really does have a very powerful sexuality. And it's not a sexuality you have to dig for like maybe earth or air or water. Of course, all the signs can have a sex appeal in their own way. But fire is really out there and it's obvious. And a lot of fire signs, whether it's Aries, Leo, or Sag, they just have that charisma no matter what they're doing. They just have this passion and this fire that makes your head turn and look at them. So yeah, I feel like people just assume you have so many suitors. People just assume that it's hard to get to you, or you have a really huge friend group and your schedule's always packed and you always have things to do and places you're going, people you're seeing. Yeah, people just think that like they almost might think they have to really give to you, like actually give you gifts, or pay for you for things, or they're gonna have to win you over somehow, because I feel like they feel like if they just approach you in a normal way, you won't even notice them. You'll just like overlook them. In a way though, I feel like you are approachable because you do seem like you would be fun, friendly, and flirty with absolutely everyone. You seem like you would be such a good time. It's almost giving me like surfer energy. Like if you've ever met a surfer guy and he has that lighthearted, like fun vibe, and just doesn't seem to take life so serious, but you also get the sense that like he's probably talking to like 30 different chicks. So you kind of are like, oh, let me bring my A game with this person. Yeah, I feel like you give off that vibe a lot. Let's get into some of these cards, some song cards for pile number 2. Alien Days, MGMT, Management. Then we got Hypnotize, Fleetwood Mac. What is pile number 2's sex appeal? We got Never Get You Right, Brandon Flowers. Endgame, Taylor Swift. What is pile number 2's sex appeal, Spirit? And I'll show you guys me picking. Ocean Eyes, Billie Eilish. And Orange Trees, Marina. And let's get one more. I Thought I Saw Your Face Today by She and Him. So, yeah, you just may have a really, really beautiful face. And I'm also seeing hair, beautiful hair, especially if you like flip your hair ever. I feel like that's really gorgeous. And if you ever like spray perfume in your hair, or just the way your hair smells, maybe the shampoo you use or your body wash, I feel like a lot of you guys just smell good. You smell amazing. And yeah, also the shape of your eyes, I feel like is part of your sex appeal. And people may feel like they kind of have to play games with you. They have to really try to win you over. It's bringing to mind the lyrics from Endgame where she's like, knew he was a robber first time that I saw him, stealing hearts and never saying sorry. And that's kind of your vibe. Like you seem like you've probably broken a lot of hearts and you just don't care. And you're still having fun. You're still enjoying yourself. And you may also seem very creative. You may also seem like someone that you're more focused on your own life, what you're creating, what you're building. You're more focused on either your career or some kind of creative pursuit, some kind of creative hobby. And if someone wants to be around you, they kind of have to worship you. Some of you guys may have like a Leo Venus or something. And you're like, if you're not a simp, if you're not down bad for me, I don't even want to be around you. Like, don't come around me unless you're going to simp 100%. Because otherwise, if I'm not being worshipped, I'm not doing anything with you, So I feel like, again, people kind of know that You also seem like you have a lot of friends, pile number two, and I feel like that adds to your sex appeal as well. It's kind of like, I don't know, the popular girl vibes or Regina George or something. You know what I mean? Or the head cheerleader vibes. Like, you just seem like really fun, and you seem like you would be great on a night out. It would never be boring. Someone would never just be like, oh, this person's like, they're not saying anything. They're just kind of like sitting sadly in the corner by themselves. It just seems like you would be fun to talk to, fun to be around, exciting, all that jazz. Let's get into some tarot cards for pile number two. So we got the Queen of Pentacles. You guys may also be very well dressed. Part of your sex appeal may be how you adorn yourself, how you dress, how you appear to others. Ace of Cups, King of Pentacles reversed, the Devil card. You guys just seem really well groomed as well. I don't know if you like really go out of your way to groom yourself, or you are just always on point with like smelling good and moisturizing your skin, and you take regular everything showers. I don't know, but you just feel like you smell good, you look good. Your hair, grooming, everything, like the clothes you wear may be very on point. You may be very fashion forward, avant-garde. And even if someone isn't like fashionable themselves, they may notice that you just seem very well put together. And even if they're like, I don't know anything about fashion, but I know pile number three, that is a cool outfit. I don't know what it is, but I know it's a cool outfit. We also got the Page of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles, and I don't know if I mentioned the Nine of Cups, and you got the Knight of Cups. So these are very like creative cards, also fun cards. The Nine of Cups energy can be really fun to go out and drink with. You know, they are just a good time. They are fun to be around. They are a laugh. They have a great sense of humor. They keep you entertained. They know what to say. Same with the Knight of Cups, major charmer. And we got the Knight of Wands here. So these are the two players of the zodiac, like of the tarot. When you get the Prince of Wands, it's the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Cups, you may be dealing with a player. Of course, it depends on the other cards. If there's a bunch of cup cards, two cups, the lovers, and you know, other major cup cards, then it may mean that they genuinely are very serious about you. But like players right here, they can be players, especially the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups. We're calling them both out. And so I feel like you guys do seem like a player. Like you just seem like, even if someone was like, I'm in love with you, you might laugh in their face or you may like make a joke out of it or be like, no, you're not, like, please. Or like someone may confess that they love you and you have like 20 other guys that you're texting and you're like, okay, whatever, like it doesn't matter to me, you know. And I feel like in a way this is a part of your sex appeal. Like you seem like a challenge or a prize to be won. You don't seem like you're going to be satisfied by the everyday BS or by the usual lines or by whatever worked on the other girls. You seem like someone whose standards are really high, and if they're not bringing fun and excitement to the table, you're not interested. Let's get into some, also the Devil, like you just may have that primal sexuality that just like exudes out of you. You may have Mars conjunct the ascendant or aspecting the ascendant, especially like a square or an opposition, especially with Mars, can make someone very sexy, or Pluto aspecting the ascendant, or even like an asteroid like Eros, which is a very sexual asteroid and sex appeal asteroid. But you feel like you just give off like or the midheaven. You think these could be aspecting the midheaven, but it really feels like you just give off a vibe, even like Mars conjunct Venus or something like that, or a Mars in Libra or a Venus Aries, any kind of like Libra or Venus Mars mix. You just seem like you really genuinely have a primal sexuality and you exude it, even a South Node aspecting one of those signs, Pluto, Mars, Eros. But you really feel like your sexuality is a part of you and you couldn't even hide it if you wanted to. It's very out front. People can see it. You're not even able to hide it away. So I feel like you kind of have fun with it, and like, yeah, you may dress up to the nines. You may make sure your makeup is on point when you're going out. You may wear a fashion forward outfit and like, you know that like everyone's staring in the coffee shop when you're putting on your lip gloss, you know, and you don't care. You're like, look away, look as much as you want, you know, have at it, knock yourself out, because I know I look amazing. And I feel like that confidence is also very attractive. So let's get into some astro dice for pile number two. We got Sagittarius, the 7th house, and then Uranus. So Sagittarius, of course, is a fire sign, and it talk about booked and busy. Sag is always like traveling, going new places. They love to explore. They love to have a busy schedule and a million things, learning new things, going new places. Also, Sag is really fun. They're great conversationalists. They're really funny. They love to learn. So they have that like brains and beauty, or brains and fun, that I feel like fits your vibe. This is definitely, I could definitely see some Sagittarius vibes for this pile. Also, I can see Leo, and I can see Aries as well. All the fire signs are coming through strongly. Then we have the 7th house of relationships. So a lot of people would like a relationship with you, but I feel like they just sense that you're not willing to settle down. Also, the 7th house is the house of Libra. And of course, Libra has so much charisma. No one has charisma like Libras. No one can riz you up like a Libra without you even realizing what they're doing. They really can charm anyone. So again, I feel like that's another vibe you give off. And then we have Uranus, and Uranus rules over Aquarius, the 11th house of hopes and wishes and large groups. And I feel like another thing about Uranus, it's very fashion, it's very forward thinking in all areas of life, including like fashion. Like Aquarians love to innovate and develop with fashion and be the only one to wear something, or be the first person to wear a trend, or not even participate in a trend, but just be the first person to think of something and to wear something. And I feel like you definitely have that kind of like, I'm an individualist. I'm willing to be on my own, and I'm marching to the beat of my own drum type of energy. So that is what I have for you. Pile number 2. I really hope it resonates. If it does, let me know down in the comments. I always love hearing from you, hearing your thoughts, your stories. So let me know what you think. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about your financial situation and money situation, guidance and information about that. Also, I posted one about your past lives and any karma, how that's affecting your current life. But there are over 80 exclusive readings you'll only get access to as soon as you sign up. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos, so you'll be the first to see everything I post here on YouTube over on Patreon. If all that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me over on Patreon. So also, if you'd like to get a private session with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a session with me where we go into real specifics about certain questions, or just let me open channel for you and see what your guides, angels, ancestors want to bring forth for you, see what messages you need to hear. So you really get to choose how the session goes, or if you want to channel first and then ask specific questions. Totally cool. But if you're interested in a session with me, go to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and book a time slot with me. Link is in my description for that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So let's get into your cards and see what your sex appeal is. What is pile number 3's sex appeal? What is pile number 3's sex appeal? 2 of Pentacles. Okay. 10 of Wands. The 2 of Wands. The Lord, aka the Emperor. Okay. The 6 of Swords. The Prince of Swords, reversed, aka the Knight of Swords. The 3 of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. I feel like there's something kind of soft spoken and gentle about you guys. That's the energy I'm picking up on. Although we do have the Emperor coming through, but it feels like you're not trying to be loud or like aggressive or overly forthright with your energy. You may even seem very businesslike, very like down to business, and yeah, I'm hearing that song from Mulan that's like, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. But it feels like you're very businesslike and kind of book smart or intelligent, and you don't try to wear your sexuality on your sleeve. It doesn't feel like you are trying to come off sexy. In fact, you may kind of do the opposite and try to seem kind of conservative or very traditional, or I feel like there's also a lot of loyalty around you. In that way, you may attract powerful partners with the Emperor card coming through. but it feels to me like you are someone that really exudes almost like a motherly energy, almost like a Cancerian energy. Like you are so loyal almost to a fault, and you will be there for someone if they need anything. They can call on you, they can rely on you. The Queen of Pentacles is so reliable. Like she is, generally speaking, very organized, very disciplined. She's not going to be like, if you text her and you have a problem, like, oh my gosh, call me right now, she's going to be able to call you right away. She's not going to be like, oh, sorry, I'm at the club, I can't hear you anything, I'll call you tomorrow morning though. Like, she really is reliable, and you can call her if you need her. You can turn to her if you're in trouble or if you are having issues. She will genuinely like drop everything and take care of you and look out for you. So I feel like part of your sex appeal is this kind of earthy sexuality that's almost like very in your body. I'm also seeing your body as being very curvy or having just attractive lines to it, like something about your actual body. And I'm getting a message for some of you guys. You may worry that you're like, I don't know, there's something about, I'm hearing like short and squat, like that line from the from the nursery rhyme that's like, I am a teapot, short and stout. So yeah, I feel like some of you guys worry about that, or maybe you take a photo of yourself and you're like, oh, I look so bad in the picture. And I feel like you need to know that like your body is amazing, and so many people literally are just so attracted to your body. Your body has so much sex appeal, and the Queen of Pentacles has that kind of earthiness to her. She's a sturdier build. She's not, I wouldn't say like bigger bone, but kind of like she's not, she doesn't look like a twig that's going to blow over in the wind. And I feel like your strength, some of you guys have a lot of strength that you exude somehow. And your strength is something that's also really appealing. Also, I feel like you do have really good bone structure in the face. And there's something about you that seems like you're very nurturing, you're very loving, you're very sweet. And I feel like your sex appeal, again, is really primal. It's like you feel like you could take care of someone. You feel like you would be that kind of person that back in the day someone could rely on to be like their wife and help them with their farm. Or nowadays, maybe if they were the CEO of a company, you would be that person that they could turn to and give them advice and consult with. And I feel like those are often the women that end up marrying really powerful men, is the ones that, when the guy is like having an off day, he feels like he can turn to. So I actually feel this is a very primal, like deep sexuality. It's bringing to my mind like the mother from the maiden crone. There's like the three dimensions of the divine feminine, and that's symbolized in like the Wiccan symbol by the half moon, and then the full moon, and then the crescent moon again on the other direction. And that symbolizes the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And you kind of are the mother and a little bit of the crone maybe, but you seem like someone who is so reliable. You seem like someone that they can turn to. You seem like someone that they can really ask for help or lean on in some very powerful way. I also feel like some of you guys may have an energy where at first someone runs away from you, or when you maybe have liked someone, sometimes you feel like they like run away. And I feel like you need to know that it's because they can sense that connection with you, love with you, being in a relationship with you would be something that would be so deep, so amazing, and you're capable of such intimacy that they may not be sure that they're ready for that. And their soul, their higher self is telling them like, go away from this person, don't mess around with them, because you're not ready for a relationship. And pile number 3 really deserves the best. So it's not that they're not attracted, but they may literally be blown away by your energy and feel like it's too much and run away into something that's a little bit easier and a little bit more less restrictive, or less requiring of their energy, so they have to expend less when it comes to you. But it's not to say that they're not attracted to you or they don't feel a vibe with you. I just feel like you truly seem like you're the kind of person that when they're in a relationship with you, like you would be such a good partner. You would give them your everything and you would expect everything back. And so if someone doesn't have it like that, they're not on their level, they may be like kind of like scared of this energy and like magnetized away from it in the opposite direction. But I feel like for someone that is truly looking for deep intimacy, you are exactly what they're craving. And I also feel like you really are capable of that very deep intimacy. So people may know that sex with you would be something that would be extremely intimate and would be extremely intense, and your energy would be not just like a fling or a hookup or whatever, but would be so much deeper than that. And you also seem like someone that they can build a life with. So yeah, I feel like your sexuality, it is kind of like the mom. And keep in mind that, like, not to be gross, not to put popcorn up on a pedestal, but within the popcorn industry, obviously popcorn is a euphemism, but I don't know if I can say it on YouTube. You know, MILF is the like #1 top search for term, I think. So clearly that is a very powerful archetype. So seriously, when I say you give off mom vibes, that is a very good thing when you look at the data around that. So just saying. Let's get into some more cards. So what is pile #1 sex appeal? Excuse me, pile #3 is sex appeal. So we got time to move on. We got confessions. What is pile #3 sex appeal? Unconscious games. And your tribe, your vibe. I feel like you give off the vibe of someone that will also sense out someone's games. Like, you can really see through to someone's soul. You may give off a plutonic vibe or a healing vibe, a Cancerian water sign vibe, where if someone is in a low vibrational energy or they've been kind of acting a fool and it's been working with other partners, you are that person who will sense it out and who will be like, not on my watch. And speaking of like, not on my watch, that comes from Iyanla, you know, from Iyanla Fix My Life. And I feel like you kind of give off that same energy, like the way she sees through someone's BS, or she's going to call someone out if they're acting in a low vibrational or a traumatic, out of a place of trauma, out of a place of being damaged and not doing the work to fix it, and she'll call that out. I feel like you will as well. So this may contribute to people being scared of you or being like, I can't deal with pile number 3, I'm kind of terrified of them. But overall, I feel like the people that are craving that deep connection and that are craving someone they can truly, truly join with, they are going to be so drawn to this, because you do seem like you are a healer. You may have been like a healer or even a witch in past lives, and you give off a spiritual leader power as well. I could also see this pile being slightly androgynous in some ways. I'm not going to lie. Not everyone. This is only going to apply to some people, but it's bringing to my mind how, like, in, I think, The Rules of Seduction or whatever by Robert Greene, he says one of the most powerful archetypes is like the dandy, which is, I think, I haven't read this book in like forever, but kind of like androgynous. Like if it's a guy, he's kind of like vaguely feminine. If it's a girl, she's kind of masculine, and that's actually very powerful, and people are really drawn to that. They love like the sporty girl or the guy who's into fashion, you know, the Harry Styles guy, and maybe the girl that's kind of, I don't know, like a Jennifer Lawrence maybe, who kind of like gag jokes and makes gags about eating pizza, and, you know, talks about how she was sweating really profusely, you know, like, so people love that kind of vibe of like a little androgynous. Or like Kristen Stewart, you know, she's a very powerful sex symbol. So there may be a little androgyny for some of you guys, a little bit of like not just staying in your one lane and fulfilling like a stereotype of like what it is to be a man or a woman, but kind of like playing with that somehow. Not everyone, but for some of you guys, that may be a vibe as well coming through. I also could see this pile being very competitive, like almost alpha females or alpha males, and being someone that's accomplished a lot, being someone that's done a lot, and this being part of your sex appeal as well, as like you have accomplished a lot and you have done things. And so in a way, being with you is kind of like a prize or an achievement, because you're not going to be suffering fools and accepting someone that's like a total dusty who's bringing nothing to the table. Let's get more cards for pile number 3. What is pile number 3 sex appeal, Spirit? What is pile number 3 sex appeal? This is a bad word. Okay, we're going to put it on the side. 0 bad words given. 0 F's given. healthy boundaries and create and progress. And let's get one more. Becoming nobody. Okay. So yeah, I feel like you're kind of a work in progress, or you may also have sex appeal because some of you guys work out, or you just seem very like into your health, or someone who's really growing and becoming a better version of yourself. You may have a routine or be very disciplined with like, I wake up at a certain time every day, I eat a healthy breakfast every day, I only eat organic, or I have a work schedule, I'm really on point with that, I have a color coordinated planner, I'm, you know, I'm working towards certain goals and ambitions. And that may also be very attractive to people. The fact that you are a goal setter and a goal achiever. You're not just thinking of these things and, you know, planning them out in your mind. You're actually going out and doing them. And I also feel like, because for some of you guys who do have a routine or whatever, you're very put together, and that can be very attractive as well. Like, you seem maybe like you're the kind of person that might really put effort into your outfits, or you're not going to run out the house looking like a total fool. Like, when you go out, you look powerful, you look like bougie. You know, we did get the Queen of Pentacles, and she is very bougie. You may look expensive, you may look like someone that your outfit is very on point, and you are ambitious, and you are well put together, you know? And so, yeah, I feel like in a way you give off a vibe of expensiveness or just like luxury overall. Let's get into some of these cards for song cards for pile number 3. What is pile number 3's sex appeal? So we got Digital Love, Daft Punk. Heart Wants What It Wants, Selena Gomez. All Is Full of Love, Bjork. What is pile number 3's sex appeal? Run Away With Me, Carly Rae Jepsen. Bluebeard, Band of Horses. Party, Beyonce featuring Andre 3000. I love that song. Fields of Gold, Sting. And let's get one more. LDN, Lily Allen. I also feel like you guys seem very, I don't know, aware or very tuned in maybe to everything that's happening on like social media or in the news. Maybe you are very like politically conscious or aware of modern issues. And I feel like that can also add to your sex appeal and make people very drawn to you in that sense. I feel like you radiate a vibe of someone who, like I said, is a powerhouse. And you also may seem like you don't suffer fools, or like if someone came up to you and they said something really dumb or stupid, you'd kind of mock them or make fun of them. So in a way, that could also add to your sex appeal, because some people are into that. They kind of want a dominant partner. They want someone who's kind of gonna like, yeah, be a little bit harsh with them. I think they said the most powerful guys in like New York City, they all go to like dominatrixes. So maybe you give off a little bit of that vibe, you know, you give off like a powerhouse energy. Like, you're gonna make fun of someone if they are showing up in a nasty stained pair of jeans. You know, you're not going to go with someone unless they are taking you to the nice place. Or maybe you don't care about that, you don't care about money, but if someone's going to say some stupid political thing that you don't agree with, you might be like, what a loser, you know, and like tell them that to their face. Yeah. I feel like you seem very sophisticated in some way, but you also have a really beautiful heart. Actually, deep down, you're very soft. And this may also contribute to your sex appeal, is like you kind of have a hard shell on the outside, or you seem like someone with a hard shell, but on the inside, you're kind of soft and ooey gooey and sweet, and you would give someone the shirt off your back, or you would donate to animal shelters or rescue like a little dog you found on the side of the road. And you're very loyal to the people that you love. You really will take care of your friend group. You will look out for anyone who is close to you. And you also may seem like someone who's a really good time at like parties and really fun to be around. Yeah, let's get some tarot for pile number 3. We want to get some tarot for pile 3 and figure out their energy of what gives them sex appeal. We got the Sun, the Eight of Wands. I feel like you suffer no fools, pile number 3. You are someone that, if someone isn't bringing something to the table, if someone isn't acting right, you're not interested. You may also just have sex appeal in that you may pursue someone when you're really into them. You may come on strong. You may be the kind of person that, like, if you like someone, you're coming after them, you know? You are definitely going to pursue them. And that may also be very attractive because people love to be pursued. People love to feel that attraction. They want to feel desired. And so even, you know, just being on the receiving end of that attraction, knowing someone really likes you can be like a powerful aphrodisiac that really shifts your mind. Seeing that go-getter, feeling on the receiving end of like a go-getter, and they know they like you and that's it. That's really attractive, and that can bowl over someone who wouldn't usually be interested. But like when someone also has that confidence that they're going to go after you, they're going to pursue you, they're going to raise you up, they go after what they want in life, it's like, who wouldn't want that in a partner in general? Because they're probably going to be very successful overall, no matter what they do, whether it's raising kids, whether it's deciding they're going to work out or start a new diet, or in the boardroom and in the office. So you seem like someone that also, you may seem kind of like protective or like jealous. Like when you're dating someone, you have a little bit of a jealous streak, but I also feel like that can add to your sex appeal. Like you're not someone that is going to just be like, oh, it's fine, you can flirt with them, whatever, I don't care. And again, I feel like people that are craving a really deep connection are going to be drawn to you. People that are just wanting something lighthearted and a quick fling, or they don't really want to go so deep because they don't want you to see through them, they may be a little bit scared of this and kind of run away from it. But for those people that really want a deep connection, really want to know you and join souls with a partner with, you know, kind of Two of Cups energy, you definitely give off that vibe that that would be you. And that if someone's coming to date you, they need to be ready to go there and get deep and fully be open to that. So some people are going to run from that, but I also feel like your physical energy, like the Sun is a very powerful placement. So if you have, say, the Sun conjuncting the ascendant or in the first house, or conjuncting the midheaven, it can make someone very, especially around the first house, the ascendant, it can make someone very physically powerful and make someone just have like a strong build, you know, broad shoulders, power in their body, like strength, strong, you know, they can look very resilient, they can be physically resilient, physically they can, or also in the 6th house of the health, it can make someone just seem kind of tough and strong and sturdy and powerful. And like they would, if they're a woman, they'll probably be able to like have a bunch of kids and they'll be like athletic kids or something. So again, there's a message where if some of you guys are insecure about this in your body, or you're like, yeah, and I feel too sturdy, or I feel too big boned or whatever, trust and believe people love this. This is a message for certain people in this pile, but something about your physicality, your strength. Some of you guys may be very fit or in good shape, or you just have a natural vibe of energy and strength around you, power within you. I feel like your power is something that's very attractive. Your sex appeal may be tied to your physical vitality and the strength you give off, and also your intelligence, because I feel like you guys are very quick-witted with the Page of Swords coming out. You're very quick on your feet. You're quick to learn. You're quick to figure it out. You're very reliable. You're very, you don't miss anything. Like, it's hard to pull the wool over your eyes. So yeah, I feel like you guys probably make an amazing partner. Let's get into some astrology dice for pile number 3. So we got the 2nd house, then we got Neptune and Gemini. So the 2nd house is Taurus's house, and talk about like sturdy. Taurus, of course, is the bull. So for a lot of you guys, you had that kind of physical strength that Taurus really embodies, where of course, a bull is a male cow, and I'm not saying you guys, you know, I'm not saying there's any connection to that, but it's like the beauty of that, the strength of that, the kind of earthiness of that. Like I always associate Taurus season with like a beautiful cow grazing on rolling hills with like the flowers just beginning to bloom, and there really is a physical strength. That's why we have like, I don't know, phrases in the US like corn fed, or, you know, she looks like she, you know, She looks like she can eat, and it's used as a good thing, you know, especially if someone has curves. Like, it means like, oh, they look strong. They look like they have some curves. And I feel like that's something, again, if you have them, just know that that is not considered unattractive, okay? People are loving it. People, that is a highlight of this reading, is sticking out, is like your physicality. And if you got some curves, or maybe sometimes you get insecure of like, oh, I don't know, maybe I should diet, or no. Like, you look really good as you are, okay? So you don't need to be worrying about that. Second house is also, and it is a house of indulgence. Taurus, of course, everyone knows, loves to eat, but loves all the senses. And there's something very sensual about you guys, something very tuned into your senses, your real physicality. Some of you guys, I feel like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, really love sex, or you just really feel things deeply. Like, maybe for you, sex isn't just sex. It's like you really have a high libido, or you crave it a lot, or you know, if you're going to eat food, you're not just going to be like, yeah, that was good. Yeah, it was whatever. You're going to be like, oh, it was amazing. And I love the flavor and the texture. And did you notice that the mushrooms had a sage, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like, you know, that's so Taurian, like to really indulge in all the senses and really feel, touch, taste, smell, everything. And of course, the second house is also the house of earned income. So again, that success vibe that hangs around you guys strongly. Then we have Neptune. Neptune can be quite dreamy. It's also a little bit private. It is the 12th house of private spaces. So I feel like for you guys, again, you do seem like you're very private or loyal, reserved to the people who really know you, and you may be quite an empath and a giver when it comes to the people you're really close to. Neptune is also a planet of fantasy. It rules over Hollywood, so it's kind of that fantasy, beauty glaze over everything, and it's referred to as the higher octave of Venus. So it kind of has that Venus indulgent energy that we saw with Taurus as well. So I feel like that's a major theme for you, is indulging in fantasy and kind of really when you love someone. Again, Venus is exalted in Pisces, so it is that energy that when you love someone, you really love them. You really see them with rose-colored glasses. It's not just a surface level love, it's like a deep love. Then we have Gemini. Gemini, super intelligent, amazing conversationalist. Again, I feel like your intelligence, your brains, is a huge part of your sex appeal and makes people really, really drawn to you in that sense as well. So that is what I have for you, pile number 3. I really hope it resonates. If it does, let me know down in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys, hearing your thoughts, your stories, and everything you have to say. Also, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit the little bell. That really helps the channel. And like the reading, of course. And if you want to see more of my readings, head to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about your money and financial situation, guidance when it comes to that, and information with that. And before that, I posted a reading all about your past lives and any karma you brought in through this life. We get into a lot of detail about your past lives. There's also over 80 exclusive readings you'll only get access to as soon as you sign up, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you and you want to sign up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you would like to get a private one-on-one session with me, then you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a session where we go into real specifics about certain questions you have and delve only into certain areas and get right to the point, or you can do an open channeling session and just allow your guides to come through, see what they need to say, get yourself some open guidance, or you can do a little mix and do some open guidance and then ask specific questions. It's totally cool however you want the session to go, but if you're interested in signing up, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and book a session with me. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile number 4, welcome to your reading. Let's see what kind of sex appeal you guys give off. What kind of sex appeal does pile number 4 give off, Spirit? Okay, so we got the 9 of Cups reversed. What kind of sex appeal does pile number 4 give off? The Prince of Swords, aka the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, the Strength card, the 3 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, and let's get one more, the Ace of Wands. Okay, So I feel like there is something kind of creative and very intelligent about you guys. I don't know if some of you guys write as a hobby or you are just a deep thinker, a deep feeler, but it feels like your emotions go so much deeper than the surface, more deep than the average person. Like you feel things on a very deep level. I also feel like you're much smarter, I want to say, not to sound bad, that you're smarter than the average person, and you may be someone who reads a lot, writes a lot, or just thinks very deeply about different situations. What I'm seeing is like someone sitting in the back of a classroom with a leather jacket on. It's almost like Jess Mariano, I think that's his last name, from Gilmore Girls, or this movie I watched, Peggy Sue Got Married. I don't know why I watched it. I felt called to because I never watch any movies. And there's a guy in it who is like the bad boy, but he was kind of like the not nerdy, but you know, he wasn't like a jock or anything, but he kind of did his own thing, and he was a writer in high school, and all the girls were obsessed with him. And I was like, that is so true. That there's such an archetype that like a lot of guys think to get the most girls, they should be like the captain of the football team and this jock, but it's actually like the sensitive dude, the Pisces dude. That's why they have a bad name, I guess, and everyone's mad at Pisces men at the moment. Um, in the back of the classroom, like writing poetry, that pulls the most chicks, always, right? And I almost feel like that's your vibe. Like you have a riz or you have a sex appeal that is about your creativity or is about the way you feel deeply. Maybe you have Scorpio placements or something. But it feels like you really feel things intensely and you're kind of private and you don't share yourself with everyone. You may even have something that's a little stern about your energy with the Queen of Pentacles. Like people who don't know you may be very intimidated by you. They may think you have RBF, resting witch face, and kind of be like, ooh, let me stay away from pile four, but I'm very curious about them and I'm very drawn to them. And I feel like this is like, even though you're stern, it's not in a way where you're just super disciplined and you don't feel anything. Like there's actually a lot of deep emotion around it or behind it. So I feel like part of your sex appeal is kind of like the bad boy or the bad girl, but not in a way of like, hey, I just drank 8 beers and I smashed all the cans against my head kind of bad boy, but like a bad boy who's like gonna get you to sneak out of your house and go make out with him at the park and write you poetry afterwards, you know? And so, yeah, I think that's a very powerful sexual archetype that I think a lot of people are drawn to. Like, people crave a deep romance, and they know that you are capable of that. Pile number four. You're not just going to be that surface level love. Like, you're going to care deeply. You got the Nine of Cups reversed, and of course, cups symbolize emotions, also psychic abilities in tarot, amongst other things, creativity, and all these things are kind of intermixed and intermingled. And I feel like you really are capable of feeling things really deeply. You may also be a little bit psychic because cups are very psychic. But I feel like you're not just someone that is going to love on the surface or be like, yeah, that's my boyfriend, whatever. I don't really like you. When you love, like, it's so deep. And I feel like people want to be on the receiving end of that. And that archetype is very powerful for that reason, because they also know that that person is going to be amazing in bed, you know, because literally the sign of sex is a water sign, and it is full of emotions. It is a fixed water sign. So it's deep, deep, deep emotions, and that would be Scorpio. So even the astrologers acknowledge that like the best sex is with someone who's super emotional and someone who cares deeply about you, right? And so I feel like for you guys, you are that person. Like you feel things to your core and you have a sensitivity. And I feel like even if you have a hard shell, or some of you guys try to be like tough on the outside, there's a part of you that when you're feeling something, you feel it so strong that like people can just see that flicker in your eyes. They can just tell that you do care. They can just tell that there's some part of you that is very emotional, is very intense. And even if you're hiding it, even if you're trying to be stoic or be like, yeah, it doesn't bother me, they love that emotional volatility, the storm that is inside you. I'm hearing Storms by Fleetwood Mac, which is obviously such an iconic song about deep love. And yeah, people are obsessed with Fleetwood Mac for that reason, because they crave that deep love that Stevie and Lindsay had, even if they were really toxic. And I feel like you literally give off that vibe that you are capable of a lot of emotional depth. Nine of Cups reverse and the Ten of Cups. So yeah, there's a lot of emotions here, but it's also, mixed with the Prince of Swords, aka the Knight of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. So you're not just going to be like a glass case of emotion, crying all the time, wearing your heart on your sleeve, and being like, oh my God, I love everyone. I feel like it's a little bit hidden. It's a little bit like when you meet someone, you may be kind of stern with them or distant with them, or not really let anyone in, but people can tell this and sense this, that you're actually much more emotional than the average person. Let's get into some of these cards for pile number 4. So we want to know about pile number 4's sex appeal, emotional baggage. That's perfect for you guys, because I feel like you have a lot of emotional baggage. You're kind of, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if some of y'all have like twin flames, soulmates, exes, or a past life deep love where maybe you have some like Venus or Pluto on your south node or something, or you, I don't know, like there's some kind of deep emotional relationship that you had in a past lifetime that you still carry that energetic imprint. You definitely have a little bit of emotional baggage, but it is a good thing, I think, in this case. Okay, decluttering. What is pile number 4 sex appeal? Best case scenario. And we got leap of faith and claim your energy. Let me get one more. Trust your intuition. Perfect for y'all, because I do think you guys have such an amazing intuition. I feel like you do seem a little bit fragile at times, but it's like for that reason, you may be a homebody or an introvert. You may not keep people around with this decluttering card. You may be quite tough about like who gets to stay in your life and who doesn't, and what you will tolerate from people and what you won't. And I feel like, again, that makes you attractive. Like it almost feels like you may have a bit of that, almost like water sign energy, where they may ghost you when they get hurt, like especially Pisces do this the most, not so much Scorpios because they're fixed, but a lot of Pisces will ghost when their like feelings are hurt. They won't really talk about them, or they won't be like, listen, I just want to hash it out. You'll never hear from them again, because they are ruled by Jupiter, so they're kind of a little chaotic in that sense. But I feel like you give off that vibe that like if someone's bothering you, and Scorpios, I mean, all water signs do this. They have the power to move on. There's a lot of movement within water. So they're kind of like, bye. If you hurt them, they'll remember it forever. They will not overlook it and be on to the next, the way a fire sign might, or an air sign, where they're not going to be as hurt. They're going to bury that and let it sink down into their consciousness. So in a way, people who are dealing with water signs, they may intuitively sense this and kind of be like, oh, I gotta be on my best behavior, or I can just tell that they feel things deeply. I can just tell that whatever goes down between us is going to be powerfully effective for not just me, but them as well. Like I feel like you have a resonance. Like when you are sleeping with someone or when you're dealing with them, it's a soul thing. It's not just a one-time connection. You may even have a lot of random people like trauma dump on you out in public. Like someone comes up to you and just starts telling you about like they haven't spoken to their brother in 3 years and they're really sad, and like they're like, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but you really have that effect on people where they can tell you see into their soul. They can tell you just know things in that psychic way. And they know that like any connection with you, whatever they have with you, even if it's just a quick whatever, even if it's just a quick meeting, that they're going to be affected. You're going to touch their soul and they're going to touch your soul. And you have this kind of powerfully effective energy. I could almost see some of y'all being projectors in human design, because projectors are able to penetrate other people's auras. And I feel like you really do that very deeply. But I feel like for that reason, you're selective of who you're around, because you're going to be affected, because like, okay, if I get drinks with this person, I'm going to be carrying their energy around with me for the rest of the day. You're like not willing to just go hang out with like a frenemy or someone you don't like. So in a way, I feel like that makes your energy very in demand, or makes people be like, ooh, I really got to make sure that I'm bringing my A game around this person, because I just know they're not going to tolerate it if I'm not like bringing something to the table, I guess. Even this talks about energy, claim your energy. So yeah, I feel like you're also you're very creative, and you kind of dance to the beat of your own drum, pile number 4. There's also that vibe where the characters I was mentioning, Jess from Gilmore Girls, I don't know the guy's name from Peggy Sue Got Married, like no one's even seen that movie except me. I don't know why I watched it. It's from like the 80s or something, but I just felt psychically called to. And it makes sense because that random character has popped up in so many readings for this archetype. So I guess I'm glad I watched it. Maybe that's why Spirit put it in my head. But those characters, like, there's also something very Uranian about them. There's something very like outside the realm of the normal. Like they're willing to be that outcast sitting in the back of the class. They're willing to be that person that no one else talks to. They're willing to be that person sitting alone at lunch, or you know, being by themselves after school, or not having friends, or not being accepted to the popular party. They don't really care because they're doing their own thing, and they are much more deep in their own energy, and they care more about their own self-respect than the respect of others. And in that sense, it also makes them more attractive because they're not desperately hoping like, I need approval, I need others to like me, please. They're confident, and because they are willing to stand alone, that makes them seem more confident. And I feel like you give off that vibe as well. Like there is an inner confidence and strength within you that no one can touch, and you do give off that power. We got the strength card, you know. You're not desperately begging for others to like you and for others to want you. And so many people have that energy. They just seem so desperate and so needy, and you just seem very self-reliant. So in a way that adds to your appeal as well, because like even though you would have a deep soul connection, it wouldn't be the kind that you're trying to take from the other person, or you just need someone, you just want any boyfriend. I'm just so sick of being alone. Like that's not your energy. You're happy to be alone. But if you join with someone, it's going to be all or nothing, you know? So let's get some song cards for pile number 4, Delicate, Taylor Swift. I feel like some of y'all seem kind of skittish. Like, truly, I think you're the kind of person that if someone annoys you or rubs you the wrong way or does something that you don't like, you'll just ghost them. You'll just cut them off. And I feel like in that vibe, you do seem very selective. Like you really give off a vibe of like, I don't know, a selective water sign that knows the value of their energy, or a selective projector. Because projectors, a lot of people are drawn to them because of their power, but they have to be invited. And so a low vibrational projector just pours their energy out towards everyone. A high vibrational projector waits for the invitation and knows how valuable their advice is, so they stop giving it away to random strangers. And I feel like you are that person now, where you're like, I'm not just dying to hang out with any old person. I want it to be real. So also when you pick someone, it truly feels like they have really risen through the ranks, and they really have earned you on a deep level, and they really are exceptional, because you don't hang out with someone unless they are exceptional, because you are exceptional. Halcyon, Ellie Goulding, let's see, Sex with My Ex, Lil Peep. Okay, some of y'all definitely have exes that think about you. I'm hearing, okay, this is like maybe TMI, but I'm hearing you guys are amazing in bed. So I feel like some of your exes miss you in that sense. Like they're like, oh my God, like, wow. And they replay memories and stuff. I mean, we did get the Ace of Wands as well. That can definitely talk about that. Not going to get too much into that, but yeah, you definitely have people who are thinking of you, replaying things with you. And I feel like in bed, you're just amazing. And again, Scorpio, which is a water sign, is literally the sign of sex. So this watery energy we're picking up on, definitely compatible with like being amazing in bed. Also because water signs can read their partner's mind. So, you know, a water, especially like a water Mars or Venus, they're going to be able to psychically know. And of course, all water placements, water, sun, moon, but of course, Venus and Mars is kind of how we are in relationships, and Mars especially is how you are in bed. They can just predict what their partner wants. Their partner doesn't need to tell them like, oh, you know, do this next, because they just know. They just know. They read, you know, they can tell the vibe. Call it what you want, Taylor Swift. let me show you guys me picking the songs. Diplomat, Sun, Vampire Weekend. Yes, a lot of you guys have a lot of exes thinking about y'all, remembering y'all, thinking of you. You may be the one that got away for a lot of people. Always Be My Baby, Mariah Carey, and How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees. Smile Like You Mean It. I feel like you guys have that melancholy vibe that this song really has. And I'm hearing that line from them from that song that's like, and someone is calling my name from the back of the restaurant. I don't know. And then it's like, and someone is doing something in the house that I grew up in. I don't know. I don't know why that lyric is coming through so loudly, but I feel like for you guys, it's almost like you have people that are haunted by you, because I'm hearing that, and someone is calling my name from the back of the restaurant over and over. So I feel like it's almost like, you know, when you feel someone calling you on the astral plane, like you just suddenly get overwhelmed with thoughts of a person and you're like, whoa, what the heck? You may be that person for a lot of people where they just think of you all the time and they just reminisce about you and they think of you as the one that got away. We got a lot of wistful songs about that, like Diplomat Sun, Sex with My Ex, even Halcyon by Ellie Goulding, because halcyon days refer to like the good old days. So there may be people thinking of you as like, oh my gosh, that was so amazing being with them. I'm so sad I don't, because I do feel like you're the type of person that when you cut someone off or when you're done, you are done. Capital D, capital O, capital N-E, like you're done and you're not coming back. And so I feel like that really, but in their mind, you will always be their baby. They're never gonna fully let you go. So that may be kind of annoying for you to be on the receiving end of, but I really feel like it is your iconic, deep depth to you and this emotional depth you have, and yeah, it is a sex appeal. So let's get into this deck and see what your sex appeal is. Pile number 4, Judgments, the 3 of Swords, the 9 of Wands. Okay, what is pile number 4's sex appeal? The Ace of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Swords, and the 2 of Pentacles. Let me pull one more. Okay, 2 more. The 9 of Swords and the King of Swords. So I feel like some of y'all can be quite harsh when you're mad. Like you may really get mad and then just like go off on someone. But I feel like in a way you're very attractive when you get angry, like your eyes flash. All your emotions are very attractive. You seem like a very emotional person, pile 4. Maybe you have water as emotions again, so a lot of water. Could also see some fire. Fire is emotional, even though they don't like to admit it. But you may be someone that just feels things deeply, intensely, passionate, you know, like cares a lot. And I feel like that can sometimes freak people out. And you may even have had partners in the past that they'd be like, well, why do you care so much? Or like, well, just calm down. But I feel like in a way they miss that. They love being on the receiving end. And people that are admiring you from afar, they're like, oh my God, I would love to have pile number 4 care so much about me. I would love to be on the receiving end of all their fire and their passion and their deep emotion. And I would love to get to go there with them. I'm hearing that line. I don't even know what song it's from. That's like, I want your sweet love and devotion. Yeah. And we got Emotion, or no, we got How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees, but they also have that song Emotion. So yeah, I feel like people love this kind of emotional, poetic, like I'm seeing like a tortured artist in the park, like scribbling in their leather-bound notebook, drinking black coffee and just like being tortured by the world, or sitting in a cafe in Paris and chain smoking. Like, I feel like that's your vibe a little bit. Sometimes you might be like, oh my God, I'm being ridiculous. Like, why do I care so much about this? This is stupid. But I feel like your water energy, your deep emotional energy, it gives you a different type of riz. It gives you a very powerful, very archetypal riz that people would love to be on the receiving end of this. They would love to have you care and cry about them. And also, I feel like because you guys got the Judgment card, again, there's like fear of your judgment. Maybe even people thinking you have a really cool sense of style or a really cool sense of fashion, or that when you make your opinion up of things, like you see into things so deeply and you're so smart, you're so intelligent, you're not just looking at things on a surface level. You really have that like scorpionic way of looking so deep down the surface, because of course Scorpio also rules like plumbing, sewage. So it really sees like you know, the things everyone else misses, the things that people wouldn't even notice and that are running underneath the city. Scorpio is aware of that, you know, and Scorpios literally are private detectives. So it's like, I feel like you have that way of looking at things and like even seeing through someone's surface. If they're like, no, I'm fine, I'm having a great day, you can tell like, no, you're not, you have trauma, you're upset. Even if they don't say a word, even if they're smiling and everyone else is like, oh, good, awesome, you can see through someone. If someone's like, no, everything's good, I have a great relationship with my parents, you just psychically know like there's something going on with your relationship with your mom. Like, I feel like you see things so deep. So people may kind of be afraid of your judgment, but also be excited by that, because we all want to be known. We all want to be seen deep down inside, right? We all want to be recognized and understood. And I feel like you can do that like almost no one else can. Like, you really see through the pretense or the surface. And that's why maybe people crave a relationship with you or sex with you, because they just want to be seen by you. They want to have your beautiful wisdom that you have and your healing abilities that you have, where it's not just about the surface stuff that everyone else sees. It's about something on such a deeper, beautiful level. So let's get some astrology dice for pile number 4. Oh my gosh. And what do we have here? Scorpio. Love that. And Pisces. Got all the water gang here. We are missing Cancer, but Cancer is here in spirit. And then we also have Leo. So let's start with Leo, since I've been mentioning all the water throughout, but let's talk about Leo. I did mention a little fire, and Leo really is that center of attention energy. It is strong, it is strength. It's also incredible creative ability and being good with children. So you guys may seem like you're amazing with children, and again, have this incredible creative gifts. I kept seeing artistic archetypes in my mind, like the painter, the poet, the writer. I feel like you give off the vibe of someone that really has emotional and creative gifts, because those are really like one and the same, and may think of things on such a deep level that like no one else could think of. I feel like people think of you also as someone who may have a cool sense of style or just do things outside the box. You're not desperately trying to fit in. Leo loves to stand out, and they don't mind being different. They're on that same axis with Aquarius, which I mentioned, Uranus. So they, you know, if someone else is like, well, let's all make sure we fit in, Leo's going to be like, no, this is my time to shine. And Aquarius also doesn't mind that kind of, that vibe of like sticking outside the crowd. So I feel like that also makes you so unique, because so many people are so desperate to fit in, to make everyone like them. And then Leo's like, I'm here doing my own thing, I don't really care. And that gives them also a lot of riz. And also Leo's about love affairs. Really, Leo rules the 5th house of hobbies, fun, creativity, but also love affairs. And I feel like for you, there's something very romantic about you. It may not come out towards everyone, but people may sense that even a fling with you, even a short term whatever, would like change their life and would be like deep and emotional and intense and romantic and beautiful. They wouldn't have to worry about like, oh, I feel like horrible, like that, I should never have dated that person, and I got nothing out of that relationship, you know, I just like, ugh, what a waste of my time. Like, even if it was just a quick fling, it would be so beautiful and special and fun. And yeah, so definitely you have that going for you with your sex appeal. Then let's talk about the water signs, which have come through so much throughout this reading. 12th house, aka Pisces, ruled by Neptune. Pisces is the dreamer. Pisces has a very dreamy, glamorous vibe, can be head in the clouds. And this is the thing a lot of people don't know about Pisces and kind of get shocked then when they get ghosted. But a lot of Pisces do ghost, okay? I'm a Pisces. I'm definitely a little bit guilty of that. And a lot of times it's because Pisces are in their own world. They're also ruled by Neptune, the same ruler of Sag. So people accept Sag to ghost, but they get shocked when Pisces does it. But it's the same rulership, and they love their freedom, but in a watery way. So they are emotional, they are deep. They're not just faking their feelings for you, but they may just be like, feeling the need to be on to the next. I do get that ghost vibe with you, where you are elusive. Pisces is the fish. So think of how hard it is to catch a fish. And if you're even like, you could be fishing for hours and not catch a single fish and be using the best bait. And if you make one bit of noise, the fish will like dart off in the opposite direction. And that can be Pisces. They're very self-protective because they don't have natural protection the way the other water signs have a shell around them, the scorpion and the crab. The fish is all soft and vulnerable, so their defense mechanism is swimming off and kind of ignoring things that don't make them happy. So again, I feel like you give off that vibe that you're elusive, that people think you're very dreamy and creative in the way Pisces are, but you're hard to get a hold of, and that I think adds to your appeal. It makes you more in demand. It makes it feel like being around you is just a dream and kind of like not something that can be fleshed out in reality, but exists in the spiritual plane, exists in some kind of fantasy, maybe in their head. People who are dating you may wonder if they're being delusional, because the 12th house Pisces energy can be delusion, fantasy. And in that sense, also dating you, getting to have sex with you may feel like a fantasy experience to them. Like, oh my God, my dreams have come to life. They may also feel like you visit them in the spiritual realm or in their dreams, or vice versa, that they have a spiritual connection with you. And Pisces is where Venus is exalted. They can anticipate the needs of their partners and be very deep and see the beauty in their partners, see past the trauma and see the possibility. Then we have Scorpio. Scorpio is the 8th house, and as I mentioned, it literally rules over sexuality. So if anyone gives off the most sexual vibe, in my opinion, it would have to be Scorpio. Although Aries, which is the other Mars-ruled planet sign, also gives it a little bit of a run for the money, but I would give it to Scorpio. I think most astrologers would. Of course, all signs have their own sexuality, their own riz, their own, appeal. But when it comes to pure raw sexuality, Scorpios are pretty hard to beat. And Scorpios, of course, they love getting beneath the surface. They love getting to know someone on a deep level. And it's not just like, hey, tell me your secrets so I can use those against you. It's like they truly want to know your secrets. They truly want to kind of heal you and kind of like fix everything and try to unwrap you and unravel you. And they're also definitely that deep brooding poet vibe. The poet in the back of the class in the leather jacket is such a Scorpio archetype. So that kind of brooding intensity, the fact that they are a water sign, but they'll also like fight you because they're Mars ruled and they're the Scorpion, and they'll sting you and they'll be vengeful and they'll remember if you hurt them and they'll cut you off, is also very powerful. So yeah, your sex appeal, I feel like, is very watery, very astral planey, but also the rebel, also rebellious and bold. And yeah, pile 4, you guys leave a mark on people. This is very appealing, I will just say. I think you guys are, there's so many sex symbols, or like even when I watch a movie with like, characters, of course, I often type them in my mind or think like what zodiac sign or what kind of planetary influence do they have, or read a book or whatever. And there's so many like romance heroines or heroes, especially they love like the heroes to have this energy. Whether you're talking about for women, the manic pixie dream girl, or for guys, like the brooding bad boy that has a deep heart. This is so y'all. So I feel like this is such an iconic character that you guys fit into, and I love that for you guys. But that's what I have for you, pile 4. I really hope it resonates. If it does, let me know down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys, hearing your thoughts, your stories. So let me know what you think. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, and subscribe. Turn on those notifications. That really helps the channel. And if you want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about your financial situation, your money. We all want to know about money, right? And about what you were like in a past life and any karma you brought through into this lifetime. So that's a really good one if you want some knowledge of what you were up to, a few lifetimes ago. But there are over 80 additional readings that you'll get access to exclusive to Patreon. You'll only find them on Patreon. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So you get to be the first to watch my YouTube videos over on Patreon. If all that sounds good to you and you want to sign up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you over there on Patreon. Also, if you would like to get a private one-on-one session with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you have some really specific questions and you want to drill down into certain areas of your life and get some answers, or whether you want to keep things really open-ended, just get some channeled messages from your guides, angels, ancestors, and allow them to come through with whatever message or guidance they have for you, or whether you want a combination, maybe start with open channeling and then get into specifics. Either one works, and you can go to my website, briarrosetarot.com, for that. The link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.